The Bungie Weekly Update just released and introduces some epic new features like obtaining bounties through the companion app, a description of the next-gen updates coming to consoles next Tuesday, Deepstone Crypt raid numbers, and tons more, so let's jump right into it. Welcome back everybody, wanted to make a short little video covering the most important parts of the Bungie Weekly Update this week. Next week upon reset, players on the Xbox Series X and S and also PS5 will have a new update bringing these next gen features to the game, which is pretty important. So let's start there and show you what you're going to be getting. So here's a nice chart that sort of lays out everything. For resolution, the Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5 will be at 4K, while the Series X is at 1080p. All of these consoles will now be around 60 FPS instead of the 30 FPS it has been for years. They also all support a field of view slider now, faster load times, cross-generation play between the console families, so Xbox Series X can play with Xbox One and PS5 with PS4, and the next generation upgrades are free. Next to that, there's also going to be 120Hz Crucible support for the Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5 as well, but not the Series S. When Update 3.0.1 releases on December 8th, next-gen consoles users Xbox Series X and S and PlayStation 5 will need to download the full-sized game regardless if they have been playing Destiny 2 since Beyond Light's launch. This won't affect the older consoles and there is no preload for this, you just have to wait until it goes live, which is most likely around reset time. Here's the estimated sizes now that these next-gen updates are in. For the newer Xbox consoles, around 70 gigabytes, and for the newer PlayStation 5, around 67. Let's next talk briefly about some of the Deepstone Crypt stats that Bungie has put out there. So here's a look at some day 1 stats for completions between the last couple of raids, Last Wish, Garden of Salvation, and Deepstone Crypt. You can see a lot more people have completed Deepstone Crypt compared to the other two, and Last Wish only had 4. In my opinion, I love the way Bungie did this, allowing us to get about a week and a half of gameplay in with a new expansion. We don't have to rush to get our power up to participate in the raid, and this, I'm guessing, is what allowed most people to complete it, which is very nice. And you can also see the stats here for the 10 days after the raid released and all of those completions that went with it. Also, a cool little side note, over 979,680 Guardians have unlocked the Lament quest since it went live, so that's a lot of people playing Destiny 2 and it is very exciting for sure. In case you missed it, Bungie kicked off the Games2Give Lightkeepers Charity initiative just a couple of days ago. At this point in time with the video coming out, they have raised over $450,000 and we're still just in the first week. The overall goal is going to raise to $2 million, so if you want to make a contribution, the links can be found down below, and it's all going to a really good cause. Certain donation tiers will get you an emblem and a ghost and things like that, and they're also doing milestones, so if they hit like 500k for example, they'll show a dawning ornament for the warlock, 750k for the hunters, and so on. This charity event is hosted by the Bungie Foundation and the Children's Miracle Network hospitals. So for example, $50 would provide a birthday gift to one of these children, $200 provides a chemo treatment for a child fighting cancer, and $400 could provide an iPad for one child recovering at their local children's hospital. So really good causes, and the links for that are down below. Next up, not much here, but the Iron Banner will return next week on December 8th. Here's a look at some of the new armor that will be dropping within that. And if you're new to Destiny, this is the Iron Banner Control. It's a limited time 6v6 Crucible activity with power enabled. So your power matters when you play this, and your artifact power is also disabled. So you'll want to infuse that equipment with your most powerful gear before jumping in. Also within next week's update, some awesome features being added or re-added to the game. In this case, first up, the Prophecy Dungeon will be returning to Destiny 2 on the 8th. This endgame activity is free to all players. It can net you some powerful rewards from each checkpoint once per week. Completion will get you a pinnacle powered reward, and those previously featured weapon and armor rewards are also available once more. Next to the Prophecy Dungeon returning, there's also going to be a companion app update for bounties, and this is probably one of the best things out of this update, and I'm sure a lot of you are going to be excited to see this. So beginning next week, players can now acquire bounties from the Destiny 2 vendors using the companion app. These bounties may only be acquired when players are offline, in orbit, or also in the tower. So that's super nice. The loading times are going to be super quick and snappy now, but if you don't want to head to the tower, you can just open up your phone, open up the Destiny 2 app, and pick up those bounties on there. So in terms of the big things releasing next week, that's pretty much all we've got, but I'm going to let the rest of the video here roll out with some of the patch notes if you would like to pause the video and check those out, or you can also find the link down below and read it there. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Subscribe if you want to see some more awesome lore content coming in the next couple of days about Cayde 6, Anna and the Stranger, Taniex's backstory, and much more. Thanks for watching. I'm Evade, and I'll catch you Guardians in the next one.